Tidewatcher 27. This is Allfyre. I decided to make a few videos for you, and I want you to know that I'm only doing this because I care. I'm not going to attack you or your ideas. I certainly don't mind when people criticize my beliefs, and in fact I'd encourage you to do so, but I know that these aren't your ideas. These are words that you pulled off a Christian website, or it might even be part of some standard Christian propaganda package that I don't know about, but whatever it is, I've heard these exact words before, and that's exactly what they are, is propaganda. These arguments that you're making hold absolutely no merit whatsoever. What they are is a deliberate, contrived deception designed solely with the purpose of getting you to spread someone else's message, to turn you against any idea that they find incompatible with their own by planting vicious lies and hateful, nasty ideas in your head, and I doubt very seriously that the people who came up with them even believe them themselves. And that's what we militant atheists are against, I think, more than anything. I would hope that most atheists would, above all, encourage you to think critically about any idea you hear and never to just accept anything without at least trying to understand it. As an atheist, I care about you personally. The well-being of your mind is as important to me as the salvation of my soul would be to a Christian, or a true Christian, whatever that is. What this video is an atheist showing the love. So, when and by whom did atheism originate? Who is the founder of atheism? Well, Tidewatcher, there's no founder. Being an atheist, in the simplest sense of the word, just means that you don't believe in God. You don't necessarily have to believe with certainty that there is no God, but you don't say, yes, I believe that God exists. Who knows what God really means anyway, but basically that's what atheism is. The word atheist is just a label. If someone asks you what religion you are, you can either say, I don't have one, or I'm an atheist. And there have always been atheists. Before there was religion, there were atheists. We are all born atheists. There were atheists long before writing or spoken language. There have been atheists as long as there have been people, longer than there have been people, because I guess, any animal other than a human is an atheist, right? Chimps don't believe in God. Neither do walruses or platypuses, wildebeests, manta rays, the jellyfish, urchins, and lampreys of the sea, or mushrooms. Mushrooms don't believe in anything. As far as we know, mushrooms aren't even sentient, so it's pretty safe to say that they don't believe in God. And so they're atheists too. Atheism is the default. And there are probably more human atheists today than there have been in the past, but there are a few good reasons for that. So also, I don't really know if it's accurate to categorize atheism by itself as a philosophy. I don't mind calling it a philosophy, but there's no predefined set of atheist beliefs that you have to have. There's no atheist doctrine. So atheism doesn't really have an origin. Nobody ever wrote the book of atheism, although there are plenty of books about atheism, and maybe you should pick one up and give it a read. You might like it. So, in true atheist fashion, I'd like to also counter your question with another question, and that would be, when and in whom did religion, theism, which is what the atheists don't have, where did that originate? My guess is that you would say it originated with God, and of course that yours is the one true religion, and that Satan invented all others, and that's where I would really ask, what makes yours so special? Because as an impartial observer, one who has studied different aspects of many different religions, Christianity overall doesn't look any better to me than any other. So I think you kind of see where I'm going there. But atheism is not a man-made doctrine. You're right. Christianity is a man-made doctrine, as is Islam, Judaism, and Hinduism, and that's why we have at least some kind of idea of what their origins are. Atheism has no origin. Then, towards the end of the video, you talked a little bit more about true Christians, and I've seen you mention, this concept of the true Christian in some of your other videos, but I don't really know what that means either. You said yourself that you're non-denominational, I think was the term. So, probably a lot of Christians wouldn't consider you to be a true Christian. Everybody's got their own idea of what being a Christian is supposed to be. There are many different interpretations of the Bible. There are Christians that still believe that you have to believe every word of it literally, and so all sinners, especially the atheists, should be dragged out into the public square and stoned to death, and that if you're a true Christian, then it's your duty to God to make sure that happens. And there are also Christians who believe in evolution, who don't believe that the Bible should be taken literally. They look at the Bible as sort of guidelines, or a collection of metaphors. There are even Christians who believe in the wisdom of Christ and his teachings, but don't necessarily believe in his divinity, or that he was really the Son of God, or even that perhaps a God exists. So, who's right? I don't know, but I will say this. I think you are kind of being a hypocrite in these videos, because you seem to kind of have a condescending, judgmental attitude, and you're making statements about atheists, which means you're talking about me personally, that are just patently false. So, I do know from my own personal extensive studies of the many religions of the world that the Bible has some pretty negative things to say about passing judgment. Of course, it goes on to contradict itself a dozen times or so later, so I guess it's really all about your interpretation again. But anyway, that does make you a hypocrite, a bigot, and a liar. I don't think that this is your fault. I don't think you mean to do it, but you have to understand that what you are spreading is someone else's lie. So please try to think for yourself from now on. I'd really much rather hear your message than someone else's message anyway. So just try and just think about that.